all platforms. We got bumped off. We got bumped off, and we are now refreshing and coming back on. So I'm just waiting for the link to populate so I can send it back out to the text notification squad. But we're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and on Facebook. So if you see this new broadcast, just go and let the people know that they just need to not refresh. They got to come back out to the page and go to the new link, because listen, today we're talking about Jesse Lee Peterson and his gay lovers who have exposed him, or his alleged gay lovers. Okay, so the new link is up. Let's go ahead and grab this new link and get it out to the people on the text notification squad. Let's see what's going on. What's good in the hood? Oh man, this is unbelievable. I don't even know I don't know how this, I don't know. I don't know. Just welcome in, everybody. Welcome. Let me just get this notification out to the people on the text notification squad. If you're not a part of the text notification squad, make sure that you join, because you'll always get the link no matter what happens. And we do broadcasts off air. And so I'm always able to get in touch with you, and you know how to get in touch with me. So yeah, so we're back. So like right now, I'm just going to send a message out letting them know that we're back. Come over. And I'm just going to put the link, because we got bumped off air. You know, sometimes when we talk about these controversial topics, the platforms are not really with it. And so things like this end up happening. But we're going to get back into the documentary. We were watching The Cult of Dusty. We had talked about the David Pakman Show and how David Pakman said that he was very handsy with him. And I just wanted to assure you all that I was live on Peterson's show, but he was not handsy with me. So I don't know what Pakman and these other men are talking about, because he wasn't handsy with me. As a matter of fact, he said if I tried to hug him, he would hug me back to be polite. But now these men are coming out talking about how they've been grappled up by the man. The man was rolling around with them and all of this other stuff. Okay, so the link just went out to the text notification squad. It's $1.99 a month, but you always get the link. You always know when we're live. So we are back live. And so we had 1,000 people on YouTube. We had just a few hundred on Facebook. So make sure that you go ahead and share. Facebook doesn't like this topic. Facebook doesn't like for you to talk about real things. But the basic premise is that these men go around talking about how much they hate women and how women are all messed up and all this other stuff. And you shouldn't be with a woman and don't get married. And of course, and these stupid fools are out here. Of course, no, don't get married. No, go ahead and roll around with these men who are talking about all the issues that they have with women. And this person, hold on. This person is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to. All right, sorry, I just had to send this message because I had to send a message to the company. Look at my face, I look so tired. I'm just really sleepy. I'm ready to just get this over with. So let's continue going forward. Multiple gay lovers come out and expose Jesse Lee Peterson. Let's jump into the video. Let's go back to it. I feel like, all right, there. I'm just so tired. Let's just go.
Anything not to anger him. They're so weird.
He's just like at the edge, because you got to invite the vampire in, is what they say in the vampire movies. And it's sort of
fucking
true.
God, these motherfuckers.
Even psychic vampires, like Jesse. And so he would do those kind of tricks, or put his hand around my back and up on my chest and be hugging and all that kind of stuff, just to see if maybe I could and asking me if how does it feel, and it feels good, right, and all that kind of stuff. And I would meekly answer, yeah, it feels good, but only because when you're under that kind of pressure, you just give the answer that he wants.
No,
but
you
you're
don't.
Really like,
you say, hey, I'm not gay. If you want to be gay, that's cool. Nothing wrong with being gay. I'm just not gay. Quit fucking hugging up on me. I don't want your Christian side hug. Jesse Lee Peterson, don't touch my dick. It's real simple, dude.
Wanting to get the heck out of there. You're like ready to fly out of there like a bat out of hell.
Jesse appears to have used every dirty trick in the book to silence him, allegedly trying to have Francis arrested for violating an unserved restraining order.
I will go back to Phoenix and chill out with the relatives like I was doing before, and I'll be back on the 25th. Okay.
25th,
Fortunately
yeah.
for you, this is in the sealed envelope today. If it hadn't been,
Yes.
you would have been gone.
Yes. If it was already served, you had already seen this, you would be wanting to go.
Church militant asked every single victim and witness if they thought Jesse would continue sexually preying on men, and they all had the same answer.
Well, yeah.
I would say yes.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind.
There's no doubt that there's current victims.
I think for sure.
Jesse allegedly accuses these men of harassment, but some members of his own congregation disagree, like former bond house tenant Fabian Asensio.
Harassing is just an excuse for, trying to shut people down. Bond has been a nonprofit church for all these years. He's lied and collected a lot of money from that church, from people saying that, he has been a hidden homosexual. There's plenty of evidence for it. There's no reason for us to make up anything. So for someone to be out there in the alley and talking and trying to wake up the employees and say, hey, what are you doing? Why are you still working for this liar? That's totally within our First Amendment rights.
Jim Valerio, longtime donor and friend of Jesse's, also pushed back at his defenders.
And for those of you people who are still supporting this so-called fraudulent, hypocritical, serial predator homosexual, you are going to pay a price for that. That is a stain on your soul when you meet your creator. Period. Cut.
This isn't even the first incident. Jesse was embroiled in a homosexual scandal in October 2020, after his Twitter account liked a gay pornography image. After the tweet was left up for hours, Jesse's account was immediately locked down and set to private. One caller on his daily JLP show broadcast tried asking him about it, and Peterson hung up on him.
Did you lock your Twitter account because you got caught liking a gay OnlyFans post?
Amazing. Do you think I handle my own Twitter stuff?
Yes, I do.
Oh, somebody else did it? How come you locked the account?
None of your business. What the? Are you a homosexual or something?
No, but it doesn't really matter.
Why are you such a beta male? What, you know all that stuff that's going on is not real, but you're being a girl right now. What making you be a girl right now?
There's nothing wrong with it, Jesse.
There's nothing wrong with you being a girl?
They were in.
Goodbye.
On top of those we spoke to, there were several other anonymous alleged victims Church Militant was made aware of, who refused to speak with us per their devotion to Peterson and his so-called ministry. Jesse continues to deny his own actions to his congregants and his fans, shutting down any victims who stand in his way. For Church Militant Special Assignment, I'm Joseph Enders, Detroit.
So look, this guy's clearly gay. I think that's plenty of evidence for anybody who's intellectually honest enough.
Oh, my,
It's
my,
very
my,
unlikely.
my.
Look at his response to that. Are you a girl? Instead of just saying, no, I didn't do it. He wouldn't answer that guy who was trying to talk to him in his alleyway. He's very obvious that he's guilty here, right? Not just me, right? So anyway, needless to say, his supporters are out there defending him, saying this is a hit piece. Oh my God, don't listen to that. All the white supremacists are out defending him like Nick Fuentes. Shocker. Nick Fuentes says the JLP hit piece, which AF commander and Church Militant associate Milo claims he personally verified is fully credible, was such bullshit. Essentially accusing Milo of being a liar. I mean, Milo is a fucking liar, but I don't believe all those guys who knew Jesse Lee Peterson for 30 years are all just coming out and admitting they're gay or had gay relationships with him. Doesn't make them look good. Doesn't make sense they all just got together and made this shit up. And then, of course, Sticks and Hammer, white supremacist Sticks and Hammer, ain't having it. Oh, no, you don't call Jesse Lee Peterson gay, even though he's obviously clearly gay. But like I said, the white supremacists love him because it's a black guy who spreads all their narratives. So they're going to defend him to the ends of the fucking earth, which nobody's fucking shocked about. So, and then this guy, like I said, went and did like
and God sometimes will give me
hour and 20-minute special where he answered all the questions from everybody that was messaging him about how it happened, and like he's pretty convincing that it happened. Of course, he's a nut job too. He's a religious fucking moron, the type of idiot you would suspect would be around Jesse Lee Peterson for 30 years. And he was like, Jesse Lee Peterson told me that after we had gay sex that I was basically saved, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. And I kind of like felt like I was saved because it's a fucking cult. And I told you guys over and over again, you don't even have to be an intelligent person to be a cult leader. You don't have to even be rich or good looking or have a good personality or be charismatic. None of that. You could be the lowest of the low and still find idiots to follow you. That's how stupid fucking people are.
Wow.
So anyway, what do you guys think about it? There's the documentary. Let's read the super chats real quick.
All right, so he's done with his broadcast. Thank you to the Cult of Dusty for going over this. There's more out there. There's more out there. Let me see. There was a we're gonna read the Cash Apps in a moment. We're gonna read the apples in a moment. So let me just all right, there is one other piece. There was a guy who was talking about Jesse Lee Peterson. I wanted to show, because there were so many videos that I looked at to research this. And one of them, there was a woman who called and confronted him on the air, and he just started like hollering at her. It was so, I wonder if it's in this piece right here. It's just such bizarre.
I don't know if you guys know of Jesse Lee Peterson, but he recently said, he's a black guy. He says people don't like white supremacists because they're jealous of how smart they are.
I used to think that when they used that word, white supremacy, it was a negative word. But now I realize what they're thinking is that white men are smarter than them, superior to them. And instead of learning, oh, hey, how did you become so superior? They want to destroy it so that they won't be reminded how dumb they are. And so they're dumbing everybody and everything down rather than coming up to the level of white supremacy.
That's where we are right now with these people. They are voting for the people who were in favor of them being auctioned. No joke. I don't know if you guys know of Jesse Lee Peterson.
Yeah, so that wasn't the look. It's just, this is the guy that he is. He's a walking hypocrisy. It's just very interesting. I wonder if I can find the piece where the woman was like, woman confronts. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to search for it on YouTube. Let's see. Woman confronts Jesse Lee Peterson, because she called up and she confronted him on air. Oh, it's too many. There's just too many videos. There's too many videos about him. But I wish that I could find the video where the woman, she called up, and I wonder, let's see. I'm going to search one last area. I'm going to search in my history to see if I can find, let me see, search history for Jesse Lee Peterson. Let's see what I have in my history, because there was a woman who called up and she confronted him. And let's see. What? Somebody says, Jesse, stop. Man, I'm trying to pull up my pants. Oh my goodness. Polygamous. Let's see. So it has to be one of these videos. It has to be one, either this one or the next one.
Imagine how difficult that is.
So let me give you a quick rundown of the timeline of this, because I started, like I said on the interview, I went to bond in May 2020. And briefly, the reason I went to bond is because I was like really, really depressed. I had a lot of depression, like to the point where like I would self-harm, not cut myself, but I don't even want to get into it. But anyways, then I discovered Jesse, and what he said first about forgiving your mother and real men are supposed to be not angry. I was like, oh man, I'm angry and I feel like a weak man, you know, like my identity. I didn't really understand my identity. So as a young man, so as soon as Jesse opened back up, I went straight, to the service, live service, because I live in South Central, and his bond is like 15 minutes away from where I live. So first time I ever go there, I'm like, hey, hello, my name is Samuel. Thank you for your message. It really helped me a lot. I forgave my parents, I forgave my dad, I forgave my mom, and now like my life I'm growing, like I'm letting go of all the old stuff. And so I want to thank him. And then he also asked me, what do you do? I said I have my own auto detailing business. And at the time, it wasn't named Samuel Mexican Car Wash Boy. It was named SCLA Auto Detailing. So the reason I changed it to Samuel Mexican Car Wash Boy, a quick detour of the story, is because he started calling me that, because that's what he saved me on his number as. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just run with it. I mean, people know me as Samuel Mexican Car Wash Boy. It's me, it's my face, I'm the brand. Cool, I'll run with it. So then, anyways, that was a little detour. Anyways, at the end of the service, he promised me, hey, you could detail my truck. And I said, cool, man. Like, man, I'm gonna get to work on Jesse's truck. This is nuts right now. So we exchanged numbers, and then this is in private. Like, if I don't know if I assume you guys haven't been to the Bond Church, but it was in Orlando, where after everybody just talks to Jesse, talks amongst one another, the breakdown of the service. And I go to him and I'm like, Jesse, another thing that's on me, I was abused when I was a boy, and that's really like, I don't know if I could let that go. And he's like, forgive and let go, just let it go. All thoughts are lies, past doesn't exist. I'm like, you know what, that makes sense. So then I was like, okay, cool. I would not pay much attention to the thoughts telling me about that stuff, So I was growing. This was in May 2020. And I met Tony and Anthony at the 21 convention in October 2020, because that's when Jesse, out of nowhere, and mind you, like, to me, I consider myself still like a newbie, like not even a year of knowing Jesse. He invites me, all expenses paid, to 21 Studios convention. I didn't even know who they were, honestly. But I went because I was like, man, I get to represent Jesse, like be like Jesse's bodyguard and just like a ambassador for Bond, because I was like, man, I've been helped so much. And up to this point, no weird stuff. And also no weird stuff happening at the 21 convention. I shared a room with Jesse. It was just Jesse and I in one room, and then Nick Gonzalez in the other room, right next door. And you can
something is not right. I just want you to just
at the
take a look at
21
this
convention,
man's
I shared a
complexion.
room with
Something
Jesse.
is just not
It was just
right.
Jesse and I in one room, and then Nick.
Something is not, I don't know what is going on, but something is not right. Something is not right. I'm sorry. Ugh.
Gonzalez in the other room, right next door. And you can confirm that, Tony, because if you remember, you picked us up.
Oh, I remember well. Yeah, absolutely.
You escorted us, and I walked out of the room with Jesse. So and no weird stuff happened that trip at all. If anything, it got me closer to Jesse, because we had like late night talks, like about life and about my insecurities.
Oh
things
my
that,
gosh! Did you hear that? They had late night talks about his insecurities. For those of you who watched the video that I did earlier, oh my goodness, you remember he asked me outright, what are your insecurities? This is something that manipulative people do. They ask you about your insecurities so they could know the things that are deeply troubling to your heart. Here, this was I took notes when we watched it earlier. So this was at the 14-minute mark. Wow. You see how all of this comes full circle, right? Look, let's jump into it. Because remember, I was interviewed by Jesse Lee Peterson in 2016. Things which has always defined me, which has always made me comfortable. If I am no longer this,
then what am I? Who am I? And do I still deserve love? Do I still deserve my own love? So the law itself and say,
hold on.
Different activities.
You broke?
You know what happened to you? Do always.
Meaning that you don't want to be broke?
Exactly.
Are you broke?
You know what happened to you? Do you know what happened to me in February of this year when I became displaced?
What happened?
You know, it became a huge controversy on YouTube, but I had always preached abundance and always preached having money. And that's how the book that I'm writing became born. And then through different activities that happened, that which I had been repelling for most of my life then came upon me. And that's when I, Tanya, had to look within myself and say, who am I? What am I? If I don't have these things, which has always defined me, which has always made me comfortable, if I am no longer this, then what am I? Who am I? And do I still deserve love? Do I still deserve my own love? So the largest challenge that I've ever had to face came into my life, and it came into my life as a blessing, because it was then that the outline for my book just birthed itself.
So what does it feel like to worry or be afraid of being broke? What is that feeling?
You mean before
Before
or
you,
after?
yeah, before you
There's a driving force. It feels like the motor and the engine of a car or a train, full speed ahead. I have to keep working. I have to do this. I have to make money. I will never be broke. I will have. Nothing's going to send me back to the ghetto. Do you remember in Gone with the Wind when she ripped the curtains down and she said, as God is my witness, I will never, what did she say?
I don't remember.
She said,
I love that. I love that movie though.
Right, and she decided that she was never going to go back into poverty, and so it's like that feeling on the inside.
What brought it on for you? That feeling. What made you?
I'm from the Bronx. I was raised in a depressed area.
Oh, I see. Give me another insecurity about you.
Well,
another. So I must have missed it. I wrote down my notes poorly. Because he asked me outright, what is your insecurity? I wrote it down in 14 minutes, but he must have asked it before that.
Came upon me. And that's when I, Tanya.
You broke?
Powerful emotion definitely magnifies.
Damn.
And that is always hanging over you.
But only if you, let's say.
Damn. But anyway, he asked me outright, what are your insecurities? He just came out and just asked, what are your insecurities? Damn, I wish I had taken better notes.
Be fat, and I'm like, I never want to be like that. And I have an opinion about it, hate it, or be, mad about it. Then
be fat, right?
Right.
Or I don't want to be violent. We're angry at.
Have you noticed that there are
I know that what we resist persists.
What do you mean by that?
Damn it,
when
but
you resist a thing, you are constantly navigating in response to that thing. So you are never free of that thing. That thing is always attached to your movements and your navigation because you are acting. Instead of saying, I want to be thin, you're saying, I don't want to be fat. And that is always hanging over you.
But only if you, let's say that I say, I don't want to be fat.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't have a personal opinion about it, if I don't resent it, or I'm not mad about not wanting to be fat, it won't affect me. But if I see fat and I'm like, I never want to be like that, and I have an opinion about it, hate it, or be mad about it, then this force starts to take over my life, and now I'm trying to fight not to be fat.
Powerful emotion definitely magnifies things. However, if your mentality or your stance is, I don't want to be X, X is always a part of the equation because you brought it into the equation.
Do you have insecurities?
Of course I do.
Here it is. Do you have insecurities? It was 1,300, not 1,400. My bad, you all. I was a minute off. So you see how he asked me there, do you have insecurities? And then so I tell him my insecurities, but see, I'm built different. The things that are my insecurities, they're personal insecurities, but people from the outside cannot attack me about my insecurities because I have ironclad self-love and ironclad self-esteem, so that when people try to poke away at it, I'm like, no, bounce off. It doesn't penetrate. And this is how I'm able to be on the internet and do what it is that I do, because I don't have that issue. But there are people who their insecurities, it plagues them in their mind. It rotates round and round in their mind, so that when somebody on the outside employs a tactic like his of trying to find out, and you heard the guy, he's like, oh, my battery's dying. We're going to read the Cash Apples. Wow. Okay. Listen, we're going to read the Cash Apples in a moment. But yeah, so you heard the guy. The guy was like, he asked him about his insecurities. You see how it happens. You see how it happens.
It was like real deep to me, and he would tell me about, about how to overcome that. And I was like, cool, man. So I left that trip feeling like on cloud nine. So fast forward to early March or late February, I would have to confirm that on my schedule, because the way I keep track of the dates is not because I wrote them down. And here's the thing to all the people that want proof. I don't want to remember this stuff. You get me? Like, I didn't want to be like, hold on, Jesse, you gonna do this to me? Let me record real quick. This is like, yeah, let's do it. Like, that's weird. I wasn't even thinking that to expose him would be to expose myself. Like, and I wasn't ready for that. But anyways, late March, early February, whatever. I had just cleaned the bond office, because I got hired in December of 2020. I got somewhere around that time, I got hired to work at the bond office every single Friday. So, I'm at the bond office, and up to this point, Jesse and I are close. We're already, long hugs. Him telling me he loves me like a son. He would call me every night, not every night, but every other night, check in. How was work? How was your business? How are you dealing with life? Oh, good, Jesse. Thank you. Thanks for checking in. But it wasn't until that day.
I can assure you, Jesse, I cannot vouch for this, because Jesse never called me. We never had no midnight chats. We did not. I was on his show, and then that was it. There was no long hugs. As a matter of fact, you heard him say in the video that we reviewed that if I were to try to hug him, he would allow it to be polite. So I can't vouch for what Samuel is saying, because that was not my experience.
I went over to his room, and it was a Friday night, and I remember, and this is also because someone asked the question of how can you say he pulled down your pants, like, and to that defense, you made me remember. Thanks to whoever left that comment, because you made me remember. At this point, I was already working out like consistently, because I was like, motivated. I was like feeling on top of the world. I was working out consistently, trying to make myself stronger. So was Jesse. So I would take off my shirt, and he would look at my body like, oh man, like, and I would do it because, oh, Jesse, let me show you the work I've been doing. Look, check this out. I'm not proud of that. I probably shouldn't have done that, but hey, man, whatever. And then at one point I would tell him, oh, I'm working on squats. And then he's like, oh, let me see your legs. So at first it started with like pulling up, my pants, like from the boot up to the leg. But then it became, oh, take off your pants. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just pose right here. And by the way, the whole time the door is locked, so no one saw this stuff. So that's what led to the moment where it first happened. I believe I had taken off my pants, and then it was just me sitting in like my boxers, and then him kneeling in front of me, because I was about to, and he would do this pretty often where I would want to pull up my pants, but he would be like, no, don't do that. I'm like, what do you mean, Jesse? Like, stop, man. I'm trying to pull up my pants. He's like, no, come on. Like, and he would just do his little laugh, like, and then, but then that's when he did it, right? And then I went into the silent prayer, and first he pulled down my boxers, and then he starts rubbing it, and he's like, hey, why is it getting hard? I'm like, why are you asking this? Like, of course it's gonna get hard if anybody touches it. Like, come on, it's a penis, man, come on. And then he would laugh, and then he did it, right? And then I'm just shocked also, but I'm also letting him do it, which is shameful for me to admit. But I mean,
well, Samuel, this is where I'm getting at it too. I mean, the fact that you're telling us this, I can't imagine how difficult that is. I truly can't.
Listen, we all have been in precarious situations. I told you about the woman who invited me back to her hotel room and that whole brouhaha on the floor and all of that. I told you about that. My situation didn't end in tragedy, thank goodness, because I was there sweating like a mug. It was too much. This is just, these videos are out there. I'm going to check one last video from my history, because I want you all to see when the woman called him up and was asking him, confronting him about, this situation, how he just started like hollering at her. It was so weird. I need to go to my history. Give me 1 second. I gotta go to YouTube and then go into my history. All right, there's one last video in my history of, let's see. Oh my goodness. So there was a woman who was looking at his video who was like, let me just search inside my history for the word Jesse. 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 Jesse's girl. Here, this is.
Jesse couldn't handle the relationship.
Hold on, let's see.
Angry American.
I don't think we're gonna find it. Let's go ahead and let us check the apples. What is that I hear? What is that? And she says this is historical, and she has like the letters for links in there, so I'm going to have to grab that. Thank you for that super apple. I'm gonna grab that. Let's see. Francis sends $2 and says Jesse needs some new face paint. Something is going on. I don't know what is happening with Jesse, but something is going on with his complexion. Katrina sends $4 and says, what in the Bussy Lee is going on? Listen, there are some crazy things out here in these streets. So let me look up this thing that Amara has sent in terms of, let's see, I hope this is related to the story that we're talking about right now. Let's see. Is that an F or a T? Let's see, I think it's an F. Okay, F, capital. I don't know why YouTube makes these things so hard. 9, T-Y, capital M, W, capital C, and then O. Let's see what this is in terms of videos. And it says the video is not available anymore. This is what it says. It says the video is not available anymore. Maybe I typed it wrong. Let me take another look and see. FS9TY. Oh, there's supposed to be a G in there. Sorry, I left the G off. Let me put the TYG1. I don't know how I left off all of those letters. So let's see what this is. Oh, that's my video. Wait a minute. How? Wait a minute. That's my wife. How did you? This is my video. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that the video is historical. That's the video that we did earlier today on the Jesse Lee Peterson situation. So listen, I'll just describe the video for. I wish I had it. If there's somebody who has that video of the woman confronting, I'll do one last search because I really want to find it. So it's like, okay, confront Jesse Lee Peterson. Let's see. I want to find that. Let's see. Jesse Lee Peterson. Durbin confronts Jesse Lee Peterson theology 4 years ago. No, that's not it. Let's see. Jesse Lee Peterson gay. Let's see. It's not. Oh, wait. Young Turks covered this too. This is crazy. The Young Turks covered Jesse Lee Peterson. Prove Jesse Lee is gay. Hold on. Let's see. What is this?
Was using his throwaway account.
Hold on. Let me get my headset. Hold on. This might be something. This might be with the thing that we were talking about. Let's see. Because there was a woman who called up and he was like hollering her down for it was so weird. From what I remember, it was just bizarre. Like not a normal response to, being confronted. Let's see.
Not logged into his public account.
So, what the? I just started out for the most part. Not just started out, but he was saying that these radical homosexuals are putting nasty sex stuff on. Friends tell me once I won't mention those simple things.
Using his throwaway account, not logged into his public account.
Here it is. I found it.
Are you a homosexual too? Are you a homosexual too? Michelle is a first-time caller out of Detroit. Michelle, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, how are you today?
All is well, Michelle. Thanks for calling.
I had a question. I'm just kind of confused. Why haven't you addressed the issue of the gay documentary?
It's not concerning to me. She said she was a liberal. She was having doubt. She lied. What a wicked woman. Do you love the homosexuals?
No, I do not. I hate homosexuals, and I wish that they would all die.
And why do you hate them?
Because the Bible portrays them as violent predators from start to finish. And if we look at reality, they are violent predators. They are recruiters. They're not reproducers. They're recruiters.
You a sellout, brother, and a sellout human being, and you try to perpetrate being a fraud in the name of God.
Amazing.
So you're supposed to be a minister, and you're supposed to be a counselor.
Tom,
and you know what? That fella you got on there who ain't got nothing.
I noticed that whenever the children of the lie, whether it's the so-called Christians or non-Christians, when they want to promote evil, they always use the blacks to promote evil. And blacks, because they hate white people and they are not of God, they are too willing to promote evil. Growing up, I never saw anything like that, and it's just amazing to see it today.
Yeah, well, it's terrible the way that they've been weaponized against us. I think it's pretty obvious why Charlie Kirk had Rob Smith on the stage. Right? That's the idea.
You are the biggest hypocrite.
What's your question?
You sit here. My question is, why are you such a big hypocrite?
Because I can't help it.
Okay.
I can't help it.
On his Twitter page, as you can see, on his that he liked that.
Use it. I'm like, just really. And he was telling me that. And he would find himself clicking on it, not realizing that onto your social media, and they set it up inside with what you're doing. Apparently, you will find yourself looking at it. I've been saying for a long time that homosexuals who are pushing this know that they are wrong.
This is exhausting to me. I really want to find the clip of the woman who confronted him because he just, the stuff he was saying was just so bizarre. It had nothing to do with. But nonetheless, look, let us Just get out of here. I appreciate all of you for coming out. I want to see your comments about this. Thank you, Tanya, for doing this. LMFAO. Look, I want to see what you all feel the self-love lessons are from this video, because it looks like YouTube has been disconnected from the chat again. Okay. So I'm gonna have to go over to YouTube to see your comments. They're just not gonna come up on the screen because only Facebook is connected right now. The service that I use, they did some updates, and these updates are really they're not working. But nonetheless, look, somebody's saying keep this crap off my phone. Look, I feel you, because I don't personally know what's going on and what all of this is and how this came to be, but I know that there's a pattern. There's a pattern. There's a pattern that seems to exist where men come out with these hateful, look, if anybody is over there trying to tell you to hate the opposite sex and all of this, you got to wonder what's going on. They start trying to get you indoctrinated into some point of views that is not. I don't know. Let me try to be more eloquent with it. It seems to start out slowly with dropping little hints and messaging. And there are many men who are out there now in a flurry there in the manosphere talking about never wanting to get married. They don't want to go out with women who have had intercourse. They don't want this, they don't want that. And they're listening to all of these men who are now having these apprenticeship and bringing them into these homes around a bunch of men. And one thing that you don't see is you don't see women around there. If their goal is to really get you in tune with having healthy relationships with women, why are women almost always absent? Why are they almost always absent? Why? And then when women are present, they bring women who are ill-equipped to have intellectual discussions, and they are brought on there for some Schadenfreude type of demeaning behavior where they're now lambasting these women, calling them out their name. They're bringing men on there who want to fight these women. And it's just, it's weird. We've done one too many exposés. How many more is it going to take before we start realizing that these people have a hidden agenda, that many of these people have hidden agenda? Listen, that's all I'm going to say on this. And on that note, listen, we're going to jump out of here. The YouTube comments have been taken off the screen, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some of these comments. I'm going to go to the video that we have that is live right now. And I'm going to read some of the comments because we cannot see the comments. You know what? As a matter of fact, we can see the comments if I put them up on the screen. You won't be able to see them in the ways that the YouTube comments have been taken off the screen, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some of these comments. I'm going to go to the video. What I can do is that we have that is live right now. And I'm going to read some of the comments because we cannot see the comments. You know what? As a matter of fact, we can see the comments if I put them up on the screen. Not like how it typically is. You won't be able to see them in the ways that the YouTube comments have been taken off the screen. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some of these comments. I'm going to go to the video. What I can do is that we have that is live right now. And I'm going to read some of the comments because we cannot see the comments. You know what? As a matter of fact, we can see the comments if I put them up on the screen. You won't be able to see them in the ways that the YouTube comments have been taken off the screen. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some of these comments. I'm going to go to the video. What I can do is that we have that is live right now. This video. The video needs to be paused. Sorry. I didn't have my headset in, so I couldn't hear the echo. Sorry. So come on, let's hear this. Let's see the self-love lesson. Come on. So there was double audio. Let's see. Hopefully the echo has stopped by now. Let me turn the screen down. All right, so type SOL. Let me see what your self-love lesson is. There's a little bit of a delay, so let's see. Somebody's saying mayhem. Someone says much better. Okay, it takes a little bit of a second. Don't be a hateful hypocrite. Okay. Somebody else is still hearing the echo. Tell them to refresh. Lady Wahala. We got Niger in the house. Wahala is a I guess that's Nigerian pidgin for trouble. All right, so let's see. Somebody is saying Jesse Lee Peterson joined the live. Listen, Jesse. They said that they were Jesse's boys. Jesse. There's somebody claiming to be Jesse Lee Peterson that says gayer than an MF. Oh, no. Somebody. Listen, you all are so funny. All right, listen. Let's have our self-love lesson. I'm sorry, it's late. It's almost 11 p.m. I'm tired. This is our third video today. So let me just tell you all the self-love lesson that I learned from this video is that you have to be firmly rooted in knowing who it is that you are. If you need help getting yourself together psychologically, invest the money in getting a trained professional who keeps the environment professional at all times. Listen to your instinct. And when something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. I would say the self-love lesson for me is that it's important to stay firmly rooted in who it is that you are. But there are times that you're disconnected from your divine essence and you may not know who you are. You may not know. But this is when I say, contact these helplines. Any helpline that you see, the S-word prevention hotline, the DV hotline. There's so many different hotlines out there for when you need help. And you don't have to be at that critical stage, but you can contact them and ask them for resources for counseling in your area. There's low cost and free resources that are out there, especially now during the pandemic, or post-pandemic, right? And all you have to do is look for it. But you need to make sure that the help that you are receiving is professional by people who are board certified and people who if there's a person who is operating in a professional capacity, ask them for their credentials. If they have a problem with or snap on you for wanting to see their credentials, then that says a lot about who they are and how valid these credentials may or may not be, because this type of stuff thrives in the environment of ignorance, in the environment of hopelessness, in the environment of need, where these people have learned and honed their craft. This man has been honing his craft for over 30 years. And he knows how to ask questions to knock people off kilter and get people to teeter. And all I'm saying is that, and I had to have this conversation with you all when I was in Argentina, and somebody had splashed this smelly substance on my backpack. And there was this old lady who was like rubbing on and she was like, oh, she was trying to help me. So it was an old lady, a young woman who were there like, oh, let me help. And they were trying to get me to get my backpack off, right? And meanwhile, I had put down the bag that I had my lunch in. And there was a man who came along and took that bag and walked down this dark alley while the old woman was rubbing on me and all this other stuff. Now, me personally, I'm hyper vigilant when I'm on these trips by myself. I have to try to keep myself safe because I have to have my own six. I got to have my own back, right? And so I had to have this conversation with you all that we cannot if we are not predators ourselves or scammers, it is impossible to have a leg up on them, because there are always new inventive ways that people who scam come up with to understand human psyche to scam people. And what we end up doing is we end up blaming the victim, like, why didn't you know better? These people, they ask grooming questions, and they posit themselves in such a way that the people who are prime targets for theirs are not able to suspect that foul play is upon them. You know what I mean? And the crazy part about it is, I was in this situation recently where we had to trust a woman who said she was a professional. She showed me her license. I verified that there were people in a professional capacity who knew her. But when it came time to pay her the money, I was still skeptical, because there are so many scams out there that it leaves you feeling, like a caged animal. And this is what people do, because I know at the end of the day, if I get scammed and I try to tell you all about it, you all are going to be like, well, you should have known better. Why didn't you know better? So it's like, then it leaves you with all of this angst, because people are more apt, because people don't want to have to rally. They don't want the inconvenience of having to rally. So they're like, well, you should have known better. What could you have done differently? Ha, 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 ha. But at the end of the day, so this is why I'm talking to you, from me to you. You've got to be hyper vigilant with knowing and understanding and knowing who it is that you are, and staying firmly rooted in that. And if you know that you are disconnected from who it is that you are, seek the assistance of a professional. Find a way. If you don't have money, you can get Medicare on the marketplace. If you search Obamacare, you can bring up the marketplace, you can get Medicare. And you can be able to see a therapist at no cost to you. All you have to do is prove that you are living below the poverty line, and they will assist you with getting mental health care. Please invest in yourself. And if you have the money, invest the $100 a week. Even if you have to do it every other week. We're talking about $200 a month. I saw some women on here who were talking about they spend that on their nails. Invest in your mental health, because there are people out there looking for you to slip. They're looking for any opportunity to be able to enact their psychological warfare on you. And some of us are already primed. Like that man who had been M-worded when he was a child, he was already primed for ABUSE. He was already primed for it. And then he met a man who had been honing his craft perhaps for about 30 years on how to get people off kilter, how to get people to trust. Because they don't just come out the gate like blah. They get you to trust them, get you to believe them. In the book, The Art of Seduction, it talks about one of the tactics of giving people compliments. And then if you give people enough compliments, according to this theory, that by the time you start criticizing them, people will desperately try to get back into your good graces, because they're like, oh, this person obviously knows what they're talking about, because they believed in me, they complimented me. So now that they're attacking me verbally, that means that it must be just. Like, people have all of these psychological warfare tactics that they use against you. But I'm telling you, listen, get professional assistance. So many of us go to the gym, like that guy. He was going to the gym, working out, getting his body right, because we give merit to the things that we can see. We can see the body, we can see that. But what about the mental health? We talking about taking care of your physical health, that's fine. What about the mental health? Well, some people don't even believe that mental health exists, but anybody who's ever been troubled knows that your mental health can slip and can teeter. And listen, this is why I get myself checked every single year, because of the work that I do here online. Like, people will come out and be like, oh, Tanya, you're a narcissist. Oh, Tanya, you're this or you're that. They're hearing all of these catchphrases online, but I get myself checked out every single year, because the work that I do is important. And I ask, and I implore you, take the time out each year to just make sure that everything is still good in there. And if it is not, continue on in your sessions. All right. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you all for coming out. I will see you all in the next video. Tanya TKO, and I'm out. Make sure you leave your self-love lessons down below. Leave yourself the lessons that you learned in self-love from this video. So go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. And I am going to wash off my makeup and I'm going to go to bed. Text notification squad. We're going to be meeting up behind the scenes. If you're not a part of the text notification squad, make sure that you join. It's $1.99 a month or $22 for the year or $50 for the year or $4.99 a month if you're international. You get a text every time I go live. You never miss another live show. And I will see you all in the next video. Thank you all so much for coming out. You all are thebomb.com. I love you all. Tanya TKO and I'm out. Peace. Hey. All right. I don't even know how to stop this now. I'm so tired. But thank you all for bearing with me.